Good morning, children. Today we'll start revising chapter 3, Force and Pressure. Okay, so you will be having the test of this chapter on next Friday. Okay, next Friday, that is 14th August. Okay, test on August 14th. Okay, so but we have to start studying for that. So test on 14th August during Zoom class. Okay, during Zoom class. Okay, and so this chapter is quite long, as you all know. There are some 15 pages totally. So I thought for tomorrow you do 7.5 pages. Okay, half the chapter. So you'll be doing from page number 43, 43 to 50, 43 to 50, and 50 only till numericals. Okay, these examples we'll be doing in the next day. So this one till numericals. Okay, so quickly let's go through what all you have to study. So the first part is just introduction of force. They may not ask that. The actual chapter starts from here. First you have to study what? Definition of moment of force. Define moment of force, or what do you mean by moment of force? So the answer will be, if an object is pivoted at a point, then the force applied on the object produces a turning effect about an axis passing through the pivoted point. This is known as moment of force. Okay, then the question can be, what are the two factors affecting moment of force or turning effect of force? So the two factors, one is turning effect depends on the magnitude of force. Greater the force, greater the turning effect. Second, the turning effect depends on the perpendicular distance of the force from the point of pivot. So if more the distance, more the moment of force. Okay, so this is how you'll write about the factors. Now this can be asked in different ways. Okay, instead of asking directly, they can ask perpendicular distance of the force from the point of pivot to axis of rotation is decreased. How does the moment of force change? So what will you write? Moment of force also decreases. Okay, so they can ask you indirectly also. Then come to the formula. What is the formula for moment of force? Force into perpendicular distance of force from the pivot point. As I told you, it's very important to write this. Sometimes many children just write perpendicular distance of force. No, it is important to write from pivot point. Okay, D. Now, moment of force is also called torque. The other name for moment of force is torque, and is usually represented by a symbol tau. We call it tau. It's a Greek alphabet. Okay. Then we have two types of moments: clockwise moment and anti-clockwise moment. Okay. If the force produces a clockwise rotation, clockwise, clockwise rotation. So this is clockwise. Okay, any force, if it brings rotation in this direction, you call it clockwise moment. Anti-clockwise means opposite of clock, that is this direction. If any rotation happens in this direction, then it is called anti-clockwise moment. Then SI unit of moment of force is Newton meter. What is the SI unit of moment of force? Newton meter. Symbol capital N and small m. Then you'll have numericals based on this formula. So few things you have to keep in mind is they can ask you, so moment of force is equal to force into perpendicular distance. Perpendicular distance from the force, perpendicular distance of force from the pivot point. Okay, you have to write fully. Now, they can give you force and perpendicular distance and ask you to find moment of force sometimes. So from this I can get two more formulas. Force is equal to moment of force upon perpendicular distance. I'm writing it shortly. Okay, they can give you moment of force and perpendicular distance and ask you to calculate force. Sometimes they'll give you force and moment of force and ask you to calculate perpendicular distance. So perpendicular distance will be moment of force upon force. So you can have numericals based on any one of these formulas. And so you please practice it. You need to, don't just see it and keep going, but I want you to write down and practice, and try to practice the exercise questions also. In numericals also, there are quite a lot. Please practice them, then only you will be able to do it properly. Then come to the next topic. Next is some illustrations, applications of moment of force. Okay, in our day-to-day life, what are the applications of moment of force? So this I have told you already. The questions can be, in a door, why is the handle provided at the extreme side, means at the end of the door opposite to the hinges. Hinges is this one where it is attached to the frame, whereas the handle is always fixed at a point which is far away from the hinges. The question can be why it is situated at far away. Now, as I told you, for all applications you will write this. It is kept far away so that perpendicular distance between point of application of force and axis of rotation increases. They don't write grinder, that's for grinder. So increase maximum, and therefore it can be rotated easily with less force. Hope you have understood, children. These 2 points should be there for all the examples. They can ask you, why does a spanner have a long arm? Why does a mechanic use a screwdriver of a long arm? Why does hand operated flour grinder has a handle at its rim? Rim, you understand? The outer surface. Potter's wheel. Why is he keeping his stick here at the outer rim? Okay, so the same kind of question, and the points has to be slightly changed. Okay, so here it is kept at this end so that the perpendicular distance between the force and the pivot. Okay, this is the perpendicular distance. This is the point where you apply the force, and this is the pivot. So you increase this distance so that with less force you can open and close the door. Same thing will come here. Okay, it is provided with a long arm so that the perpendicular distance increases so that we can easily loosen or tighten it. In this case, screwdriver has a long handle so that its perpendicular distance between point of application of force and axis of rotation is increased so that the screw can be easily tightened and loosened. Same like this. Okay, so this is almost the same answer for everything. Just change a few words depending on the application. Okay, if it is door, then according to that use the words. If it is hand operated flour, accordingly few words have to be changed. Otherwise the important 2 points are the same. Okay, keep that in mind, children. Okay, then after studying that, you come to pressure. Start with definition of pressure. Define pressure, or what do you mean by pressure? The normal force acting per unit area on a surface is called pressure. Okay, a force or thrust upon area. Then factors affecting pressure. Pressure is directly proportional to force, and pressure is inversely proportional to surface area. What does this mean? It means if surface area increases, pressure decreases, and if surface area decreases, pressure increases. Okay, so unit of pressure, Newton per meter square or Pascal. Then you'll have numericals based on this. Okay, Newton per meter square or Pascal. Again, you will have 3 possible questions, three possible type of numericals. So pressure is equal to force upon area, or sometimes they can ask you to find force. Force will be pressure into area. Area will be, so if this has to go there, this will come down. Force upon pressure. So these three possible formulas, numericals can come on these three formulas. Okay, so this is so you can, I think all the three types are given here. If you practice, you will get a better idea. Okay children, so as usual, so you're going to study in the daytime, and in the evening around 5 o'clock or 6 o'clock I'll send you a worksheet, a question paper, a revision question paper for these 7.5 pages, which you will answer and send it to me by night. I hope it's clear. So you're going to study from page number 43 till this one. Okay, before this examples you need not study. You're going to study till this part. Okay, till numericals. This you will study in the next time. Okay, so please study seriously in this week's test. Okay, on 14th August test, I expect you all to score very well, because already in the first test you all have scored very less. Okay, so try to compensate it by studying well in this for this test. Okay, thank you so much children.